Good morning. It is a morning. Hello, I'm out on one of my walks today and I'm actually standing in the mud flats. Let me just see if I can position myself around. I'm being attacked by a fly. Thank you. Oh, it's a wasp actually, which is no good. Behind me is a toll bridge, the old Shoreham Toll Bridge, and that's the object of my walk today. But I'm down on the mud flats here in Shoreham, in West Sussex. There's the sun blaring in our face. Down on the River Adur. I was on the River Adur the other day, taking a little stroll up past Brambleway, and now I'm going to take a stroll across the old Sussex Toll Bridge, which is there behind me. It's an old toll bridge, as you might expect. It's got a bit of heritage. It's a Grade 2 listed building. Well, construction, hardly a building. And I'm just coming up onto the public footpath here, which takes me up to, behind me here is Shoreham Airport. Shoreham Airport, or as I saw a sign, it said Brighton City Airport. I've not thought of it as Brighton City Airport. We are about 8 miles from Brighton, so that does seem to be a bit of a misnomer. And I'm on the footpath that goes along the River Adur, circumnavigates the river and is alongside the airport. Now the airport isn't a big airport, it's nothing like Heathrow or whatever. You get little Cessnas taking off. It's a sort of flying club airport. I imagine it had a purpose during the Second World War. It must have done, because all along the bank here are pillboxes, lots of them. Because the Adur comes out at Shoreham down at West Sussex, and Shoreham is literally just beyond the bridge in the distance there. That is Shoreham. There's old Shoreham on the opposite side of the bank to me now. But because it comes out there and Shoreham is a port, obviously if the invasion during the Second World War happened, when Hitler was trying to take us all out, they would have taken their boats and landing craft up here. Would have been a perfect place. However, we've protected it again with our pillboxes, and I've got one coming up to me now. They're quite good condition, this one. I'm not going to go in it. I'm not going to try and rummage around in it. I did one on the South Downs actually the other earlier in the week, I think it was, so you can go and check that video out if you so wish. Now, to get to the bridge I have to do a bit of a circuitous route, because I have to sort of weave around a little bit, which is what I'm going to do. I'm pleased that the sun has come out, but that may actually be detrimental to my video, because it's turning the bridge into shadows. But we'll try and get a good shot of the bridge for you, come what may. So, what can I tell you about the old Shoreham Bridge? Well, it was constructed out of wood. It is a wooden bridge. And a wooden bridge, it's quite unusual, especially to be still in use today. It was built in 1781, and before that, the only way to get across this particular stretch, and people wanted to get across, they wanted to get across from Brighton towards Chichester to Lancing, which is just this side, Brighton's the other side, to Worthing, and along the south coast. In order to do that, you either went across on a flat sort of raft, a ferry, you would have had a ferry, or if you didn't use the ferry, then you'd have to take the long circuitous route, which would take you up towards Upper Beeding and then Bramber, and that was a bit of a trek. The other thing that you were at your mercy at, of course, is whether the tide was in or not. Today, well, at this moment, I'm filming this early in the morning, there's a car coming, and the tide is out. It's a tidal river, so at this point, at the estuary, if the tide is out, you're stuffed. If you want to get across, you can't. The mud is very boggy, and I wouldn't advise anyone trying to sort of wade through it. So you would have had to wait. But they did build the bridge, and I'm coming up to the bridge now, and it was there for about 120 years, something like that, and then during the First World War they rebuilt it. After 100 years made of wood, it did started to rot away, and they rebuilt it and kept it in its fine original state. And then actually, before I go across it, maybe I can get a better view of it. Let's just go down here. Let's see if we can get a better view for you. Recently it has been repaired because it was in a terrible state. As you can imagine, from 1916 up until I think 2001, it started to fall into disrepair. Let's see if we can just get a better view here. Here we go. So this is oops. Here's the classic view of the bridge. This wooden bridge. It's quite wide, and I'm sorry, it's quite long for a bridge. So it was rebuilt in 1916, and then recently it's been refurbished with something astronomical like £650,000 to repair it. In 1970, it stopped being a road bridge. It's now a bridle path, and it is rather magnificent. It's hard to imagine that from the time it was constructed, when it was taking horses, people, animals, carriages, and then in the early 20th century, when the motor car was more prevalent, motor vehicles, steam cars, I imagine to begin with, petrol cars, buses, up until 1970, when it closed, I believe on the 7th of December 1970, the bridge was taking ordinary, everyday traffic, including lorries. And that's ridiculous. I mean, I don't know that you could seriously get two cars abreast on here. Maybe in the early days you could. There are passing places. Let's go into one now. So you could get passing places, and if there wasn't that much traffic, then perhaps that was okay. Let's have a little look over here at the view that we see beyond. That's going north. That view takes us up towards Stenning and Bramber, and then on the other side going south, this view takes us back towards Shoreham and the port, and then over that side you've got the airport. There's nothing flying about, which is a shame to show you. Let's come down to the end, nearly over the bridge now. It is a Grade 2 listed building, as I said earlier, and that's very important because objects like this tell their own history. It cost sixpence to cross. It was sixpence almost in its entire life, from what I can read and understand, which is quite remarkable because I suppose that's inflation for you. Now it's free, and you can come up here and have a little gander and see what you can see. Let's have a look on this side over here. You can see what I mean about the mud flats. Let's have a look down there. And of course in the mornings, as we are now, it's very popular with walkers. Interesting, as you come across the bridge, just finally then, you come to another bit of heritage, which there seems to be a lot of work going on here. But the old Downs link, which used to be the London to Brighton line, which is now in a bit of turmoil by the looks. I don't know what they're doing. Are they building a road here? I hope they're not building a road here. The old Downs link, oh, environment agent, Shoreham Ada tidal walls. Well, they're frightened that it's going to flood, I suppose. But anyway, along here, and you can't see it now, unfortunately, but it's another walk that I'm going to take you on. It's the old Downs Link Railway, disused, pulled up by Richard Beeching. Used to go up to Shoreham. Used to go up to Stenning and beyond, from Shoreham to Stenning. And here, the Red Lion. So you would have had to cross the railway, pay your sixpence, and then you could go on the bridge. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed the walk. I've got to go and get back across. I didn't bring sixpence. I hope they'll let me across the second time. So join me again for another walk. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video, and press the bell notification and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.